so excited to be here at this very special place, Angel Valley, with Bashar up above. And we're just so thrilled to see so many people here. I know we're kind of tightly packed in here, and it's just amazing. It's just amplifying the energy tremendously. So thank you all so much for coming. I hope that you enjoyed the presentation and getting to know our parallel reality specialist, Willa, in the last hour. And I'm sure that there will be more coming after Bashar comes through. He'll be sharing perhaps some more information. And then we'll also be opening this for questions and interactions with Bashar. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and start now. And again, I just want to thank everyone for being here and joining in this amazing celebration of our new galactic world that we are creating as we speak. And I'd also like to thank Darryl and Bashar for doing a wonderful job of being a fantastic channel and channeler.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for paving the way for the day when ET contact, open contact will be a reality. Thank you, Darryl and Bashar.
Thanks, April. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for being here today and having us here today. Did you all enjoy Willa's introduction? We, yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to get right into it to give you the maximum amount of time to let Bashar say what he needs to say and give you time to interact with him. So have fun, and I'll see you later. Second day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right, thank you. First of all, once again, we will take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you individually and all of you together collectively for the co-creation of this interaction, the allowance of this transmission this day of your time. Once again, each and every time you allow for the co-creation of such an interaction, you allow us the gift, the experience of the multifaceted, multidimensional crystal of creation and the individual facets that each and every one of you happen to be. So we thank you for that gift. Let us begin by continuing some of the thoughts that were imparted to you by Willa Hillichrising, the being that is the parallel reality specialist approximately 700 of your years in your future. All things being relative, and again, we have explained many times, of course, as Willa has also done, that all these things coexist simultaneously. But for the sake of convenience in your language, we will talk about the concept of future and past, as long as you understand that there are no such things. So we're really talking about nothing. Thus then, moving on from there, the idea of why, perhaps, it is important for you to begin to understand and have a little bit more information with respect to the concept of parallel realities. First and foremost is this. You're already using them all the time, so you might as well become aware of the fact that you're using them in whatever way will allow you to enhance the methodology and the application and the effect of that usage of parallel realities in your daily lives, to expand you, to allow you to experience more of the vibration of who you are, to allow you to experience more of your joy, more of your passion, more of your love, more of your creativity. The idea, as we have explained it, in the way you are already using parallel realities every single day, every moment of the day, many times a day, is the experience itself that you call time. Very briefly recapping, the idea itself, the experience of time itself, is created by your consciousness shifting from one parallel reality to another billions of times per second, creating the illusion of movement, change, space, time. Each parallel reality is in and of itself a frozen single snapshot. This is a parallel reality. This is a parallel reality. This. Similar to the frames on your film strip, each parallel reality is simply a frozen frame. There is no time, they are timeless. No movement, no change whatsoever, just as there is not in any single frame of film. But as you move the film through the projector and project the image on the screen, then the idea is that you create the illusion of movement, the illusion of change, the illusion of space, the illusion of time. Again, hearkening back to the understanding that, of course, all the frames exist at once, even though you may view them one at a time, one after the other. Both, in that sense, coexist, but one, the idea that all the frames exist at once, is a description of the nature of the structure of existence, and the experience of the motion picture is the effect, the illusion, the side effect that you create by relating to those individual frames in a particular way from different perspectives. So physical reality experience is very similar. You, as a consciousness, are like the projector light. You project your consciousness through all the different individual frames that we call parallel realities, and you do it in a manner that creates your sense of time, space, continuity, and order, and progression, and expansion. And the idea thus then is you create that effect by shifting your consciousness through all the different versions, all the billions and billions of versions per second of yourself, variations of yourself in different realities, different earths, that stack up and create a parallel reality sequence. And in that sequence, you create the experience that you have as a physical being and relay that experience back, if you will, through the higher mind to the soul, the spirit that you are. But the idea is that your physical mind, your physical ego structure, your physical consciousness, in that sense, is like the projector. And the light is the light of your spirit, the light of your being, the light of your energy, the light of your consciousness, flickering through those frames, as we said, billions of times a second to create this illusion, this side effect of time. So you're using this constantly. You are very intimately familiar with how to use parallel realities to create this effect you call space-time. You do it so automatically you don't even know you're doing it. So smoothly you don't even pay attention to it. It's on automatic for you so that you can pay attention to the experience that you're creating in this manner. But the idea now is that you can become a little bit more aware of the fact that you're doing that. And by becoming a little bit more aware that that's how the structure works, that's how the structure exists, you can expand your experience of exactly how you create the concept of your space-time movie, your space-time illusion, your space-time side effect. By, thus then, even the subtlest of alterations, you can create many different kinds of effects, and many of you are beginning to experience some of these side effects from the alteration of how your consciousness relates to the shifting that you're doing through all these billions of parallel reality frames. One of the most obvious side effects that you are creating, one of the most obvious alterations that you are creating is an increase in what you call synchronicity. Anybody notice that? All right. Because you're changing, in a sense, the frame rate, or more precisely, you're changing your experience, your perception of the frame rate. The frame rate actually never changes, but you can change your perception of it so that you're paying attention to different frame rates in a different way. The idea thus then is that you created slightly different effects, slightly different side effect in your physical reality experience. Another side effect is your ability to start perceiving other realities, other dimensions. Start seeing what was heretofore invisible, because as the frame rate changes, your perception changes. And as your perception changes, your senses change. And as your senses change, you're able to pick up different things that you might have heretofore thought were, well, so to speak, in between the frames you thought were real, and now you're realizing that more frames and different frames can be real. Because everything exists at once. All realities overlap at once. All parallel existences, all dimensions exist here and now at once. What you perceive is simply a result of what vibratory frequency you're on. Frequency being another way of saying how you experience the frame rates. So the idea is that as you experience more synchronicity, as you experience and perceive more dimensions of reality, other consciousnesses, other beings who are now capable of being perceived by you, these are all part and parcel of the expansion of your consciousness and the inclusion in your consciousness of your awareness that that's how the structure exists, that you're using parallel realities to create this experience you call the physical world. Now, it doesn't mean that as you live your life, you have to constantly be aware of every single parallel reality every single moment. That's not what we mean by becoming more aware of them. You don't necessarily have to allow that to go off automatic, but what you can experience is a greater side effect, a different side effect, just by knowing that that's what you're doing. You can still let it run on automatic. It's just now that you will know it's running on automatic in a way that is more representative of the expanded view that you now have of the structure. Does that make sense? We can, if there is any confusion about this, clarify this in the upcoming question and answer exchanges if you wish. But for now, we're simply laying down this foundation so you can begin to truly understand why we are bringing these conversations about parallel realities into focus at this time. And there's another reason. The idea is that one of the things that helps this alteration of your ability to perceive these frame rates in a different way is the very discussion, the very awareness of the existence of parallel realities. By bringing in this focus, it actually begins, as you think about this concept, it actually begins to rewire your brain and your neurology, literally, physically. Because you are, in a sense, choosing to look at something that by its very nature is paradimensional. And thus then, when you begin to examine these kinds of multidimensional, paradimensional concepts, your brain has to rewire, reconfigure itself to allow you to process that kind of vibration, that kind of information. So bringing in these subjects at this timing will allow you to actually know that you are, in that sense, choosing to allow yourselves to be rewired. You are rewiring yourselves to make yourselves better receivers, better antennas for frequencies of energies that may have heretofore been invisible to you, which will now start to become more visible, more solid. Please remember the caveat of manifestation that we have shared with all of you. Manifestation of things into your reality is not the manifestation of something from somewhere else coming into your reality. Manifestation is the result of simply changing your frequency to the degree where you can simply start to perceive what has already been here but was heretofore invisible to you. Because everything is here and now. Every experience you could ever have, every thought you could ever have, every object you could ever experience in your reality is all right here, right now with you, all in your energy, all in the codex of your theme of exploration in this life. It's all there holographically. But you only see what you are on the same vibratory level of. So manifestation is simply changing your vibration to make visible what is already here, but was heretofore invisible. Does that make sense? So don't think of it, don't define manifestation as having to attract something from somewhere else, so far away you don't know where it's coming from. It's all right here. You have it all. You have it all, you just don't know it yet. That's all. That's the difference. Now, remember also, and we would like to add this, as a boost to the concept of the manifestation idea and your experience of parallel realities, and we have said this before, but we now understand it is important to say at this timing, the whole concept of this law of attraction, again, let us remind you that there is an underlying perspective that many of you are not quite getting about how the law of attraction actually functions. So let us just briefly share this with you at this time so you have a truly full understanding of this mechanism, of this concept. The way that many of you are talking about it isn't wrong, because you talk about the idea of, yes, you have to be of a certain vibratory level in order to attract a certain thing that is commensurate with that vibration. Yes, that's true, and we have said so ourselves. But the idea, more precisely, is this. You are already a signature vibration. It's who you are. It's your identity. You give that vibration off, the vibration of your true self, all the time. You can't help yourself. You just leak it and radiate it outward all the time. That's who you are. You're giving that frequency, that signature frequency off constantly. All the things that are representative of that frequency are doing their best to get to you, to manifest for you. If they don't, it's not because you're not attracting them, it's because you're keeping them away. That's the difference. And all the things that are not compatible with your vibration, in that sense, they are doing their best to attempt to get away from you, as far away from you as they possibly can. If they are not leaving your reality, it's not because that you are, in that sense, doing something wrong, per se. It's just that you're not letting them go. So the idea is not so much that you have to learn to attract. The idea is that you simply have to let go of the things that are attempting to get away from you and just let in the things that are attempting to get to you. That's actually the core of how the law of attraction works. You're already on the vibratory frequency at your core. That is the frequency that attracts all the things that are relevant for your life, for you as a joyful person, for you as a loving, creative, loved person. You just need to let go of the things that are not compatible with that signature frequency. That's really all you have to do. Does that make sense? Yes. Doesn't that sound easier? Yes. Than having to learn to attract? No one in your reality needs to learn to attract. No one in your reality needs to learn how to be abundant. No one in your reality needs to learn confidence. No one in your reality needs to learn to trust. You already trust 100% of the time in something to be true. The question is not, do you have to learn to trust? The trust is what you are trusting in. The idea is that you never, ever, ever lack confidence, and you never, ever, ever lack abundance. It's that you can have confidence in lack and an abundance of lack. But you are still abundant. So again, the question and the issue is not having to learn to be abundant, having to choose what you prefer to be abundant or confident in. Because you're always abundant, you're always confident, you're always trusting. You can't help it. It's your nature. It's how you were built as a co-creator. So, let go of the idea that you're not doing what you need to do in that sense. It's not like you have to learn anything about the mechanism itself. You just need to awaken to the idea of how to use the mechanism in the way that's most aligned with your true self. That's all you need to learn. Does that make sense? Are you sure? Yes. Thank you. Wanted to make sure the rest of you weren't asleep. The idea now that we will also finish up with here before we begin with the interactions of questions and answers will be, One of the reasons why, aside from just the parallel reality information, we are now also facilitating the introduction to your society of Willa. Heretofore, we have talked about the idea, and this connects very strongly with the whole concept of where you are actually physically on your planet right now, in the Sedona vortex. Our ship is above you, 1,936 miles, directly above you right now. As we help adjust and align the energy of this vortex and allow that energy to go out and link to other vortices surrounding this vortex throughout the many states that surround the state you're in, we have talked about the idea of the trinary connection that exists between Earth, our world, and the Sirius star system. In creating this triangle, this has created a certain stability, a certain foundation of a relationship with us, with you, with Sirius. But now it is time to add another dimension. And that is why we have brought Willa to the forefront at this time. Because it is an extension, again, nothing is absolutely linear, and it is a real parallel reality, and it coexists simultaneously with yours. But again, just colloquially, Willa is in your future, 700 years in your future. And the idea of focusing on her, bringing her in, does this. For imagine now, if you will, we will, as you say, use the channel's hand to draw this in the air. Here is the triangle, Earth, this dot, us, this dot, Sirius, this dot. So here's that triangle, yes? Have you all got that? Yes. Now, here is Earth, yes? By introducing Willa, we now take the tip of this triangle. You stay right here, but we take the tip and we stretch it out to another point in the timeline. What happens? Your dot now stays in the center of an equilateral triangle. It is no longer at the tip, it is now in the center. And by being in the center and looking down upon this and connecting lines from every point on the triangle to the center point that now represents you, while the outer points represent us and Sirius and your future reality represented by Willa, you can recognize that while looking at this diagram flat, as you say, two-dimensionally, in that sense, yes, it's an equilateral triangle with a center point with lines drawn to it from the tips. But if you understand it multidimensionally, what is it? It's a tetrahedral pyramid, yes. So now, by drawing that up, you now have the 4 points that represent the tetrahedral structure that is the underlying structure of all physical reality. It is the building block of your physical reality experience, vibrationally and energetically speaking. So now we have, by allowing Willa to come in to this structure, to this energy template, this matrix, we have now added another dimension that will again allow you to experience more vibrations that are more representative of more dimensions and allow you to rewire yourself on a different level in a different way. And now by looking at it rather than as a flat triangle but as a pyramid pointing upward, it now also and specifically in the vortex you are in points upward to us literally, physically above you in our ship. So this forms now an extremely stable relationship of energy, an extremely stable flow of energy, an extremely magnified and amplified ability for contact to begin to occur more and more and more solidly. And all of you now in this interaction, to whatever degree you are comfortable, to whatever pace you are willing, are now rewiring yourselves to take advantage of that tetrahedral space-time antenna and siphon off the energy from that antenna to serve your needs, to be expressed and applied in your physical realities through creativity and imagination and relationship with the higher mind, in whatever way, shape, or form you so desire. and by doing so, amplify and magnify the energy on your entire world that increases the relevance and probability of open contact. So we thank you, every one of you, for being these wonderful little tetrahedral antennas. So, I'll let you absorb that for a moment. And as you absorb, let us explore together these concepts, if you wish, related concepts, if you wish, whatever you deem to be the most important concepts for your expansion and your understanding. We ask, in what way may we now be of service to you through the interactions of questions and answers?
Thank you, Bashar.
Good day to you.
Good day.
Speak up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
Okay, my name is Lori, and I am a regression therapist.
Oh, all right.
And
is that fun for you?
It is so much fun.
Oh,
I just
thank you.
love it.
Thank
and so
you.
this is so relevant for me.
Yes.
When I'm working with people and I want to help them help themselves now based on things that or in the past life, which obviously are in the parallel life,
yes,
and the future life, I want to know really how to bring more peace to themselves. You know, I mean, it's not just, it's the personal, and it's what's happening in 2013 with war and judgment and hatred. And
yes.
how do we get
Well, you
past
can begin
this?
many ways. First of all, of course, the very concept itself, if absorbed by the person, that all these lives are simultaneously coexistent, can automatically, if you truly understand that, if a person truly understands that structure, that relationship of everything being here and now, existing simultaneously, that immediately negates the idea that there can actually be a cause coming from the past. Do you understand?
Yes.
All the things you call causes coming from the past, karma, whatever you want to call it, is completely self-imposed and completely created from the present. The idea is you make cross-connections, energetic connections and links to other simultaneously existing parallel incarnations, as was explained by Willa on her pin charts, you remember?
Yes.
And thus, by making those cross-connections from the present, you are connecting to other life experiences that you have deemed, based on the theme you wish to explore, to be necessary connections to allow you to explore the energy, the downloads, the experiences that they have to give you. It's just that you interpret from your space-time perspective, you interpret those cross-connections to parallel realities that you call the past, you interpret them as memories. But that's created from the present. The present, and here's another principle that if people can wrap their minds around, will completely shatter your understanding of space-time reality. The present creates the past, not the other way around.
Then does the future create the present?
No.
See, I am confused.
Thank you. The future creates the present when the future becomes your present. But while this present is your present, it's also creating what you call the future. Because you're looking at it as downline in the past, upline in the future, from the present. But when you arrive in the future, isn't it always now?
Yes.
So it's just that you are allowing what you now call the future to finally simply become your present. To accept it, that it does exist as a present reality, and to actually experience it as a present reality. So what you're actually doing in that sense is you're still creating that future from the present, but the way you do it is by turning the future into your present. Did that make sense?
So,
But the idea, let us finish, the idea is that you can actually do the same thing with the past. Since you're creating the past from the present, you can actually use the present to alter the past. Because if you truly understand that you are shifting through parallel realities, billions of parallel realities every second, then what that also tells you is that billions of times per second, you are actually expressing your consciousness through the eyes of literally a different version of you, which is literally a different person, isn't it?
Yes.
So if it's literally a different person, then that person doesn't have the same history. Doesn't have to have the same history. You can make that present person seem to have a similar history or not, but that's actually up to you. Whatever you define yourself to be now is what determines the person you are now and determines what so-called experience of future and past that person has. So this is why we have talked before about this concept called the 13th step, taking a cue off of what you call your 12-step programs. This usually on your planet applies to all forms of what you call addiction, and how to allow yourself to let go, so to speak, of that addictive behavior. Now, we are in no way, shape, or form saying that people have to stop doing those 12-step programs if that's the permission slip that works for them. All we are saying is you can also, at some point, when you're truly ready to understand this, add a 13th step. And the 13th step is actually this, that when you truly, truly know, not believe, not think, when you truly know you are a different person, and truly thus then know that as a different person, there is a different history, that doesn't mean that you have let go of the addiction. It means you never had it. And that's why there's no urge in the person that you are now, not because you've transformed it and are dealing with it. It's because the person you are now knows they simply never had it. It's simply not a consideration. It simply doesn't exist in their mindset and never has. Make sense?
100%. That
Does
part.
this help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, Bashar.
And a you good day.
My name is Leano. I had a couple quick questions for you.